Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We are currently heading up to the start line while the crews are getting ready and warming up. We'll let you know when we begin. And as you see in front of you is the UCF first 8 warming up, heading up to the start line. Thanks for tuning in. It's currently 1:16 p.m. The first 8 will start off at 1:30. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Cyan Ord speaking.
And Connery Cassidy. We're going to be your announcers for today. We're waiting for the first 8 to go at 1:30 in lane 3. We have Miami, Coxon Jr., Newport Beach, California, Lauren Graves. In 8 seat, we have sophomore from California, Torrey Pines, Layla Jolly. In 7 seat, we have freshman from Cernovia, Italy, Sarah Turisano. In 6 seat, we have junior from Escudia, Spain, Naroa Zubimendi. In 5 seat, we have junior from Karug, Serbia, Jovana Stanivuk. In 4 seat, we have freshman from Cadira, Spain, Candela Martinez. In 3 seat, we have senior from Melbourne, Australia, Aaliyah Dawson. In 2 seat, we have senior from Liberty Township, Ohio, Lauren Bricca. In bow seat, we have sophomore from Alicante, Spain, Paula Espinosa.
And UCF in lane 4, Coxon Audrey Philander from Inverness, Florida. She's a junior. Stroke seat, we have Sofia Labona Nevada, who's a freshman from Spain. 7 seat, Hannah Lovejoy Jr. from Marietta, Ohio. 6 seat, Brigitte Kapler, she's a sophomore from South Africa. 5 seat, Reese Springer, she's a sophomore from Tallahassee, Florida. Lucy Buckingham, 4 seat, she's a freshman from England. 3 seat, Elisa Fayola, she is a grad transfer from Auburn, New York. Lane two or seat two, sorry, Luna Couper, freshman. She's from the Netherlands. And bow seat is Inez Martin. She's a sophomore from Barcelona, Spain. The boats are getting ready to start. We are beginning the first race here in 8 minutes. Thank you for tuning in. And you can see here, this is the UCF first 8 going into the starting docks. In stroke seat, we have Sophia. She's a freshman, which is amazing to see. Such a young person in such an important seat. We have in the Miami 8 a stroke, Layla. She's a sophomore. So definitely two differences in stroke seats, but that'll make for an exciting race.
We see these freshmen and sophomores come in to their first year, second year of Division One women's rowing, and they're really taking charge. I mean, it's really cool to see these younger athletes kind of in this lead position in the first 8. It's a really big responsibility, so it's really cool to see like the trust that the kind of longer time athletes, like athletes that have been on the team for longer, they have these trust in these athletes so early on. Interesting fact for today, this year marks the 30th anniversary of UCF women's rowing and the 29th anniversary of Miami women's rowing. Just a fun fact for you all.
Here's a headwind. So today we have a headwind here on Lake Pickett. The Miami first 8 and UCF first 8 are just backing into the starting docks. They have 4 minutes until they hear go.
You know, it's hard with the headwind, especially for the coxswains. They got to be locked in and on point to make sure they're lined up straight down the course to make the least amount of meters for the rowers. We don't want to have them going over 2,000. They're already doing enough in the 2,000 meters that they have. So the coxswain's job is just to really get them pointed straight down the course and lined up. So that's what we're waiting on right now. We've got Lauren Roman here, past rower on the team, calling the start here, making sure everybody's aligned. And fun fact about the Miami coxswain, Lauren Graves, she started as a rower in high school, but now, as we can see, she's the first Varsity 8 coxswain. So, good job on her. And fun fact about coxswain Audrey from the UCF 8, she is exceptionally good at getting low and horizontal on the boat, which is important in races like these, making the least amount of drag for the boat, getting low, having that good aerodynamic. It also encompasses a lot of core work for her, so I'm sure another fun fact is she has done a 30-minute plank, which is very impressive,
alongside Sophie Tercy,
who is the coxswain of the first Varsity 4 for UCF. And actually, interesting fact, Layla Jolly, the first 8 coxswain or first 8 stroke seat of Miami, she started rowing her senior year of high school. So she started pretty late, but looks like she's really getting the hang of it. So good job to her. Oh, quick start. And they're off. First 8 heat is off. This is where they got the sprint. Look at that. It's really bow ball to bow ball in these first couple strokes here. Looks like Miami may be overrating UCF right now, but looks like UCF is pulling out ahead. This is really, some teams like to take their start really fast. Some teams like to build into it. So looks like UCF's doing a really good job here, getting out in front in the first couple meters of the race, but it's never over till it's over. And we got Miami. Looks like UCF is 4 seats up right now, hanging on. Miami's hanging on there. Still a tight race in these first few meters. UCF is at a 34. We'll get Miami's stroke right here in just a second. Looks like UCF just settled into that crushing bass rhythm. Looks like Miami did too. They're all into that settling pace to hit that first 500-meter mark. UCF's coming up to the first 500 meters of the race here. And UCF has crossed the first 500. Miami following suit. Miami has just crossed the first 500. Audrey, coxswain of the V8, sitting on bow ball of Miami. Looks like they're pulling away now. Had another move at the 500 for UCF. Miami hanging on there. Looking good there. Looking strong through the water, through this headwind. Headwind, it's going to be easy to stabilize the boat, but be hard on the legs.
And another thing here with the headwind is trying to get blades in is crucial here. The wind will push your blades in. They struggle to get their catches in, but UCF is doing a wonderful job doing so. This is the real body of the race here now. This is where crews are expected to make a move. This part of the race is where each crew will show their endurance and fitness. Miami here setting up, looking good. About half a boat length down, but can they do it? It's so it's definitely hard to race from behind, but can Miami do it? Strong group of girls here, both crews. Let's see what we can do.
Looks like freshman Sophia Novato is really setting a great pace for the UCF V8 boat here. And sophomore Layla Jolly, she's doing a great job at setting a pace, great bass rhythm for that first Miami 8. This is great. Looks like UCF is coming to that halfway mark of the race, coming up to that 1,000 meters. And UCF has crossed the 1,000. Miami following suit. Just about a boat length down from UCF, they're hanging on. Miami is crossing the 1,000 meters here. really pushing through this headwind. Looks like we're getting a bit of a better water up here at the 1K. That first 500 meters was probably the worst water of the whole course. So as we get down to the 500 meter, last 500 meters of the race, it should clear up. We've got a little bit of coverage down there from the trees. We got U Miami here settling strong. Looks like they've got a great rhythm through this headwind. We got UCF, they're keeping on pulling ahead here, looking really great. You know, it's hard to race from behind, but it's also hard to race when you're ahead too. Making sure that you get that big margin.
I've clocked both crews at a 35. They're in the third 500 now of the race. This is the bread and butter of collegiate rowing. Moves must be made here no matter what position you're in. This is often where races are won or lost. Miami here may look like they're bumping up the right. Can they make a move, Connery?
It looks like they're making a move here, pushing on that margin on UCF. All right. Looks like UCF is coming up that last 500.
UCF is about to enter the last 500 of the race. Miami has a few strokes till they cross. This is where stroke rate will bump up.
UCF is crossing last 500 meters of the race right now. We've got Miami here about a couple boat lengths back, but they still got time. They still got time. It's not over till you cross that finish line. This is really exciting here.
Miami is crossing now into the last 500 of the race. As we enter this last 500, you'll see these crews bumping up the rate to put on a finish. Every stroke counts here, Connery.
Oh yeah. Looks like Miami may be starting that sprint early to get that margin on UCF. That's what they need right now. Oh yeah. Looks like they're really staying strong here in this last 500 meters of the race.
Miami bumping up the rate. I've clocked them now to 37, working their way up. This is where both crews will put on a finish. UCF has a lead of about 2 boat lengths. Can Miami make up what they can within the last few strokes here?
I hear that coxswain. She's yelling at them. She's needing them to go more. She's telling them more, more, more. It's that sprint of the race. That's where that's where you go fast.
That's where you go fast, Connor. That's where you go fast. The amount of adrenaline and endurance these athletes have right now is amazing. UCF about to cross the last
about 10
finish.
strokes left.
This is where it matters. This is where it counts.
Oh yeah.
UCF's putting on their last finish here. Here we go. Miami fighting hard, fighting hard.
UCF last couple strokes here. And UCF has crossed the finish line. We got Miami here.
Miami still following suit.
Finishing up that great sprint that they had.
Last 10 strokes of the race here.
Yep, legs. All legs here. Yep. And looks like Miami's crossed the finish line. Great racing, both crews. Awesome job. And we'll have the official times here in just a couple minutes.
Thank you for tuning in.
All right.
Final times here. UCF first 8 with a time of 6:52. Miami with a time of 7 minutes and 14 seconds. Great job, girls. Connery, how do you think that race went?
I think that went really well. The girls looked really strong through the headwind. I know it's tough, especially on the legs, to be, hitting that headwind hard. But luckily, it got cleaner as the race went on. The first 500 meters was definitely um, more the the worst conditions of the course, and then as you saw here, right about when we crossed that 1K was when it started to get flatter, and I'm sure it made a little bit of a difference on the rowers, but it's still it's a hard race. 7 minutes all out. I mean, it's tough, but these girls did a great job.
Yeah, and it's also neat to see UCF freshman Sophia from Spain up there making big moves.
Yep.
Her parents must be proud back home watching her.
Yeah. Looks like Lauren Graves had a great race as well. I could hear her really pushing her crew towards the last 500 meters. Maybe they started their race or their sprint a little bit early to close that margin, that gap on UCF, and great call on her part to start that early. Oh, yep.
Next up, we have the UCF second 8 at 1:45. Once we get closer to the top, we'll let you know how everything's going. Thank you.
A little bit of background here for you guys. Last time UCF and Miami faced each other was at this Sarasota 2K, previously known as the Sunshine State Invite, about a month ago. Um, Last year, Miami won in points, and UCF came in second. So Miami took home that Bendership Cup last year, and this year UCF took home the best Bendership Cup. So it seems like um, they're trading spots. They're both really quick teams, developing really well throughout the season. This is actually Miami's third race weekend in a row. So from the Big Ten invite to Lake Wheeler last weekend, and then this weekend, obviously, the UCF Miami duel. So I'm sure they're feeling fatigued. They haven't had much time to recover. Luckily, the Big Ten invite was in Sarasota. So just not a short drive, but same state. Then we had Lake Wheeler, which is in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I'm sure they flew up there. So they had some plane legs they needed to shake out. And then this weekend seems like they drove up this morning to get to racing for the duel, UCF Miami duel. So, yep. We've got about 5 minutes till the second Varsity 8 race takes off. I'll bring you guys to Cyan, who's going to tell you a little bit about the race.
So UCF second 8, lane 3. We have UCF Coxon Julia going, who's a senior from Wisconsin. Stroke seat is Sophia Scott. She's a freshman from Australia. 7th seat, Tash Villanis. She's a junior, also from Australia. We have a duo up there. 6th seat, we have Claire Kaminsky. She's a senior from Melbourne, Florida. 5th seat, we have Maya Misdelovic. She's a sophomore from Serbia. 4th seat, we have Veronica Rush, a junior from Virginia. 3 seat, Mal Thorson, a junior from Denmark. 2 seat, Kesha Brunet from London, England. She's a freshman. And bow, we have Sophia Pelosia. She's a freshman from Ohio. So 2 freshmen in bow, and we have a freshman up in stroke seat. That's really interesting to see. Connery, pass it to you for Miami's second 8.
All right. In the Miami second 8, we have them in lane 4. We have Coxon Maria Mastranda. Yes, we have Coxon Maria Mastranda, who's a junior from Ocean City, New Jersey. In stroke seat, we have Nicole Wazinski, senior from Clifton, New Jersey. We got a New Jersey duo up there. In 7 seat, we have Kate Ryle, a freshman from New Zealand. 6 seat, sorry. We have Kylie Evanson, sophomore from Ann Arbor, Michigan. In 5 seat, we have Jane Elsner, sophomore from Germany. 4 seat, Mary Blinn, sophomore from Williamsburg, Virginia. Caroline Hanlon, we have her as a senior from McLean, Virginia. 2 seat, we have Emma Shetter, she's a senior from Bradenton, Florida. And in bow seat, we have Meredith Hillmeyer, junior from Canada. So we've got a lot of sophomores, juniors, seniors in this boat. We have 1 freshman, Kate Ryle, who's obviously making big waves on the Miami team as she's in the second 8, which is a great place to be.
Julia Going is the coxswain for UCF, the second 8 here. Julia won the Order of Pegasus, which is the highest achievement and recognition a UCF student can get during their time there. For the 2 Australians, stroke seat and 7 seat, Sophia and Natasha, we have. Oh, and the flag is up. UCF is off.
UCF and Miami 2v8s are off. They're in the sprint, the starting sequence of their race sprint, trying to get out ahead. Who's going to get out ahead first? We'll tell you here in a second.
I'm clocking UCF at a 40 rate. Miami at a 43. They are neck and neck right now.
Bow ball to bow.
Bow ball to bow ball as we enter the first 250 of the race. Where we're at right now, it does look like Miami is inching out slowly but surely. Can UCF stay with them is the question.
Looks like Miami just settled down into their base rhythm. Looks like UCF has also settled down. They're still in the first couple hundred meters of the race.
I'm clocking Miami at a 36 rate, UCF at a 35.
Still really close here. We got bow ball to bow ball. Closest race we've seen yet today, even though we've only had 1 race so far. But looks like Miami's really pushing on UCF here.
Can they hold it? The headwind is sometimes not our friend, but the most important thing to do in headwind is to get your blades in. Rate does not matter at times with a headwind. Most important thing is to get the blades in and push. As we can see, UCF is taking that idea and running with it. I see bow seat and 2 seat inching out in front.
UCF has crossed the first 500 meter mark. Miami following suit just crossed the first 500 meter mark.
And this is where the endurance and fitness come into play here as we enter the middle of the race. Like we said previously, these are where moves are made and the bread and butter of collegiate rowing is watched.
Miami's looking great here. They have that really strong, powerful, long and hang. They're looking good. So is UCF. Looking great here through the water. It's important in a headwind to get that blade very as far at the catch as you can to be able to get that water and push through that headwind. Looks like UCF here, their stern deck is on the bow ball of Miami. UCF has a boat length lead here.
Can UCF break open here? That is the question. I'm clocking UCF at a 35, Miami at a 34.
Looks like Natasha Vulanis behind Scotty here in the first 8, or the second varsity 8 for UCF is really hanging on great. She's pushing that rhythm through the boat. She's helping Scotty there. We got Miami looking strong here. We got that freshman in 7 seat, so that's a really important spot in the boat as well. You got to match that rhythm of the stroke seat through the entire boat.
UCF here is walking. There has more open water as we enter the middle 1,000 of the race. Miami seems to be upping rate a bit. Can they make the move? Can they take back what they have lost so far?
UCF has crossed the first 1,000, the middle of the race. And we got Miami here following suit, crossing the 1,000 meter mark.
Miami still looking strong though, Connery, sitting up, blades entering.
Yep.
They're looking good.
We got UCF here maybe making a move. Looks like they upped the rate a bit. Got Cyan, she's gonna tell you our rate in a second.
I clock UCF at a 37 rate.
Yep. Clocking Miami now.
I also clock Miami at a 38.
Nice.
Both crews
really, they're making moves here, trying to, just through that middle of the race, you kind of do a reset and you do a sprint, and your coxswain tells you, hey, like, we're halfway through, we got to finish at home. Looks like they're crossing the 750 now. Miami crossing the 750 here in just a second. Bow seat of the Miami boat, looking really strong here. Meredith Hillmare Jr. from Ontario, Canada. She's really, really lifting that bow. That's what bow seats do. They're there. They're strong in that boat. They're lifting that bow. We got UCF here about 2 boat lengths ahead.
Both crews have less than 750 in the race.
UCF looking long and strong here, long and strong. Same with Miami. They're looking great here. Both crews pushing through this headwind.
My UCF will be crossing the last 500 now.
Let's see if the Miami coxswain makes the same decision that their first 8 coxswain did. It seems like their first 8 coxswain had them sprint a little early, so we'll see if the second 8 follows suit. Looks like Miami's crossing the last 500 meters here.
Yep, as we enter the last 500 meters, you'll see these crews putting on a finish. Every stroke counts here. Every stroke counts. This is where fitness is shown and grit is resembled. You can tell each athlete here today is giving it their all.
UCF looking really strong and powerful here through that last 250 meters of the race, and the water's clearing up. The water's clearing up and looking good here for them.
Miami upping their rate. I'll tell you in a second here what I'm clocking them at.
UCF just crossed the 250, last 250 of the race.
Miami at a 36. You can tell they're bumping up the rate. UCF in the last 250 of the race.
Looking strong here. Everyone's looking really strong. I can hear that coxswain in the Miami boat. She's telling them more. They're giving it to her. It's exciting to watch this sprint. The coxswain really gives it their all in this last couple minutes just to really get the most that they can out of their crew. Looks like UCF's gonna cross the finish line here. I'll let you know when they do, and the flag goes down.
Last few strokes of the race here, they're giving it their all. UCF has just crossed the finish line now. Miami with their last few strokes, girls, giving it their all.
Coxswain making sure they give the rest of their energy they can, empty that tank in this last 250. Yep, almost there. Miami's done.
Miami has crossed the line. We will have the official times to you when we know them. Thank you. So we have here the times from the second 8. We have UCF with a final time of 7 minutes and 8 seconds. Miami with a time of 7 minutes and 27 seconds. Great job to both crews. They gave it their all. Next up is
the first Varsity 4 and the second Varsity 4 race. They paired these two together just because of some early on thunderstorms at the University of Central Florida. You know, in Orlando, Florida weather, we'll be getting those afternoon thunderstorms rolling through, so we got to get these races in now. So we got the first 4 and the second Varsity 4 coming up at 2 p.m. Cyan, what do you think is the biggest mental challenge in a two-boat race like this?
Well, Connery, I think the biggest mental challenge these girls are facing right now as a crew in a two-boat race like this is not having crews on either side of you. You have a crew on one side. It helps to get some push from crews on either side of you. Each gain or loss is immediately obvious. I also think a two-boat race like this is much more intimate. It definitely becomes personal when it's your crew against another's. Next up, we have the first Varsity 4 and second Varsity 4s, both UCF and Miami. They will be racing in the same race. Lane 1, we have Miami, second Varsity 4. Lane 2, UCF, second Varsity 4. Lane 3, we have UCF, first Varsity 4. Lane 4, we have Miami, first Varsity 4.
All right, let's see. Lane 1, we have Miami's second Varsity 4. We have coxswain Annabelle Polly. She's a freshman from Tiburon, California. In stroke seat, we have Julia Berg, sophomore from Orinda, California. 3 seat, we have Charlotte Maschoff, freshman from Darien, Connecticut. In 2 seat, we have Sophia Phillip, sophomore from Acton, Massachusetts. In bow seat, we have Samantha Helmering, sophomore from St. Louis, Missouri. Now on to the lane 2, UCF second Varsity 4. We have coxswain Vianna Smith. She's a freshman from McLean, Virginia. In stroke seat, we have Leanne Franklin, sophomore from Corpus Christi, Texas. 3 seat, we have Lexi Sanchez. She's a sophomore from Tampa, Florida. 2 seat, Megan Lukovic, senior from Tampa, Florida. And bow seat, we have Izzy Bate, sophomore from United Kingdom. It's funny to see her though. The middle pair is both from Tampa, Florida. It's a little fun fact for you guys. I'll pass it off to Cyan for the first Varsity 4s.
We have the first Varsity 4. We have UCF coxswain Sophie Tercy. She is a junior from Virginia. Fun fact, she won Scholar Athlete Award in January. She also held a record for a 30-minute plank alongside coxswain Audrey. 4 seat, we have Kate Maloney, a junior from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. She PB'd this year by 22 seconds. 3 seat, we have Bella Montalvo. She's a senior from Pennsylvania. She also had a PB this year of 15 seconds. Bow, we have Vilma, a sophomore from Finland. Vilma raced this summer at U23 Worlds. Great job, girls. We have in Miami, we have, oh, and Amber, sorry, in Bow. Amber Tulish was a sophomore. She's from Melbourne, Australia. In Miami, we have coxswain Haley Gross, senior from New York. Strokesy, we have Mia Harrington. She's a sophomore from Dallas, Texas. Mia wants to be an orthodontist. 3-seat, Grace Gaskill. She's a sophomore from New Jersey. Grace froze both sides. Interesting. 2-seat, Jessica Walter, a freshman from Oakland, California. And bow, we have Holly Pritchard. She's a junior from Connecticut.
Looks like crews are starting to get up in those stake boats and get aligned for their race. You know, the fours boat, rowing a four can be argued that it's one of the hardest boats to row in collegiate rowing. It takes a lot of technique and focus and just all around like good mental game because it's also one of the longest races in collegiate rowing.
And that's also why many coaches utilize fours to help find that balance and help find the send during practices. So many of those who you see racing in these eights spend a lot of time in the fours throughout the year. Crews are backing up, backing into the stake boats, getting ready to go.
So the closest lane to us is gonna be lane 2. So that'll be the first. Oh, lane 1. My bad. The closest lane to us is lane 1. That's Miami's 2v4. Lane 2, UCF 2v4. Lane 3, UCF v4. Oh, sorry. Don't listen to that. In the closest lane to us is lane 4, actually. That'll be Miami's V4. Lane 3 is the one right next to them. That's going to be UCF's V4. Lane 2, we have UCF's 2v4. Lane 1, we have Miami's 2v4. So the closest boats to us are the first varsity 4s. The farthest boats from us are the second varsity 4s. Looks like the water's really calmed down here at the start, which is good for these 4s. It's really difficult to row in choppy water, especially in a 4, because it takes 4s. It's really all about balance and technique in these boats. So,
And one interesting thing is crews in the middle lanes have boats on either side. So for those crews on the outside lanes, they don't have another boat pushing on them. So we'll have to see how Miami does here with one crew on either side of them. Crews are just adjusting as it is windy at the top of the course.
as we mentioned before, Audrey, the first aid coxswain, can do a 30-minute plank for the UCF first aid coxswain. In the first 4 coxswain for UCF, Sophia Tercy, she can also do a 30-minute plank. So coxswains really push on each other to get their core strong.
The crews had to back it down and restart and row back into the gates due to the wind. Once they're off and ready to go, we'll let you know.
The coxswain of the UCF second varsity 4, Vianna Smith, she actually also rowed before she was a coxswain. So I'm sure she has a lot of understanding and empathy towards the rowers. She probably understands how hard a 2K race really is. And then in the second varsity for Miami, Cox and Annabelle Pauley. Annabelle won a championship race her junior year of high school. Very impressive. Um, we have Charlotte Mastroff in 3-seat for the Miami 2v4. She raced at Head of the Charles 3 different times, which is it's a prestigious race. I've never raced there. I'd love to go and see it one day.
I can say I've
Yeah.
myself. So very big accomplishment there.
Uh-huh.
And to talk about big accomplishments, we have Samantha Helmer, sophomore from St. Louis. She started rowing in 8th grade. Boats are starting. And go. They're off. Flag is down. Here we go.
Looks like it's all bow ball to bow ball right now in these first couple strokes of the race.
As these crews try and back their blades in, they're trying to get the rate up as well. Right now, from where we could see, lane 2, UCF is...
UCF's second varsity 4, looks like they're out ahead. First varsity 4 pushing on them, looks like Miami bow ball, Miami first varsity 4, bow ball ahead. Looks like it's all bow ball. They're really pulling away from Miami's second varsity 4 here.
And to be a coxswain, to look over to your left and right to see the eyes of the other must be incredibly intimidating, but exciting at the same time. Right now we see lane 3, UCF. First varsity 4 is inching out ahead.
Yep. Looks like both UCF boats have pulled out ahead here, ahead of Miami's first varsity 4. And they're really pulling away from Miami's second varsity 4, but it's really only the first couple meters of the race. Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
We just crossed the first 250 of the race, entering this first 500 here.
Looks like it's really bow ball to ball here for Miami's 1v4 against UCF's 2v4. Looks like UCF's 1v4 is really pulling out ahead here. Coxswains looking over side to side, seeing where they are at this point in the race, letting their crew know where they are. We're going to tell you the stroke right here in a second.
I'm clocking the UCF first varsity 4 at a 34.
This is impressive. In this headwind, it's hard to get the rate up, especially in an 8, but even more so in the 4s. You've only got 3 people behind you, so looks like UCF's first varsity 4 across the 500-meter mark, second varsity 4 for UCF crossing the 500, first varsity 4 for the Miami boat crossing the 500, second varsity 4 for the Miami boat crossing the 500-meter marks here.
I'm clocking the first varsity 4 Miami and the second varsity 4 UCF, both at a 33. This is crucial here to back the blades and get them in. Rate at times like this with strong headwinds don't matter as much as the leg drive and blade entry. This is very exciting.
Yep. It's exciting part of the race. Crews are like settling into that rhythm, setting that pace for the rest of the race.
UCF separating themselves from the pack here, as well as the second varsity 4.
UCF's second varsity 4 really hanging on to that first varsity 4 here. And UCF's first varsity 4 here also hanging on to that UCF second varsity 4 and UCF varsity 4. We see him pulling a little bit away from Miami's second varsity 4, but everyone is looking strong here in this second 500 of the race.
Of the second varsity 4 UCF, their stern is on the bow ball of Miami's first varsity 4. Moves still can be made here, Connery. You never say never.
Yeah, never say never. It's not over till you cross that finish line, as everyone always says. Everyone's looking really strong here in this headwind. It's got to be really tough on these athletes right now, and especially in the 4. It's heavy. It's probably, this headwind's probably feeling heavy for them right now. We see this second varsity 4 of the Miami boat really looking strong here, getting their catches in. Miami's second varsity 4, Coxon can see the entire field. She's telling her rowers where they are compared to everyone else, and she needs the most out of them right now to keep them in this race.
And just like we said, the first 500 and last 500 are most sheltered. So this middle chunk here is where grit and determination really comes into play. We've crossed the 1,000.
Miami, second varsity 4 crossing 1,000 right now. Miami's first varsity 4 is not letting those UCF boats off their tail. They're pushing hard right now to keep that margin between them close. Looks like UCF's first varsity 4 is really pushing out strong here. We've got in stroke seat, Catherine Maloney from Canada. She just PB'd by 22 seconds this year. Last year in conference, she raced in the spare 4. So look at her now. She's leading, taking charge in that first varsity 4.
Making big gains.
Oh yeah, and then behind her we've got Bella Montalvo, who also PR'd by 18 seconds on her 2K. And look at her in that first varsity 4. She raced in the second varsity 4 conference last year, so she's making big moves too. Looks like Miami here may be taking a move. Looks like they may be up stroke rate a little bit. UCF's pulling out ahead. It's looking good here. A strong field of rowers.
I clocked UCF's first and 4 at a 35 and their second 4 at a 34. I'll let you know what Miami's at. Clocked the first varsity 4 of Miami at a 34, as well as their second varsity 4 at a 32. We're entering the last 500 of the race here. This is where big moves are made. This is where crews show their work and their fitness throughout the year.
It's so much fun when you're in a 4 and it's going fast. Like 4s can really fly. Like when you've got a good crew together and you're all in sync, that's what really matters the most. You guys all trust each other in the boat. Oh yeah.
It looks like Miami is maybe making a move here. Their first varsity 4 just about to cross the last 500 of the race.
Both UCF boats have crossed the last 500 meters of the race. UCF 2v4 is still hanging on to that V4. They're really pushing them, showing them they've got some great speed.
And you know, Connery, the 2 UCF boats are out in front, but they're racing each other as well. So as much as UCF is a team, they're pushing each other and working hard together right now too.
Everyone is earning their spots in their boat right now. And we see Miami's 2v4 back here. They're really pushing strong. It's hard to race from behind, but they are really giving it their all. Blood, sweat, and tears here in this race. Looks like this Miami boat's really coming in strong to this last couple meters of the race. Coxon must be having them sprint now early. It looks like they're really picking up the stroke rate. You see UCF's V4 up here. They're definitely picking up the stroke rate. They just crossed the 250 meter mark. Looks like UCF's 2v4 is also crossing the 250 meter mark. This is an exciting race here. We've got Miami's 2v4 or first varsity 4 crossing the 250 meter mark. They're upping that stroke rate, trying to catch that UCF second varsity 4. Exciting racing here at Lake Pickett.
Miami, I'm clocking them at a 35 now. They are picking up the pace. All 4 crews have entered the last 500 now and have less to go than they began with. Oh yeah.
Looks like UCF's first varsity 4 is about to cross that finish line. They're the last couple strokes of the race. Coxon is yelling at them, making them give it their all in these last couple strokes, really getting the most out of them. And looks like second varsity 4 is also following in suit. I'll tell you in a second here when UCF's first varsity 4 crosses. We've got Miami's second varsity 4 really looking strong here.
UCF first varsity 4 has crossed the line. Following suit is UCF's second varsity 4. They have just crossed the line.
Miami's looking strong in these last couple strokes of the race. Looks like they're about to cross the finish line as well.
Miami's first varsity 4 has officially crossed the line.
We got Miami's second varsity 4.
Giving it their all.
Last couple strokes of the race. They're looking good here. And they've crossed the finish line. Great racing to these crews, especially in this headwind in the 4s. I know it's feeling heavy right now, but everyone looked great. All their strokes taken were powerful. Really great racing by these crews.
We will have the final times to you when we receive them. Thanks for tuning in.
We've got lots of girls racing here from all over the world, from Spain, Serbia, Canada, the UK. It's really cool to bring everyone together here on Lake Pickett, and thank you so much to everyone watching around the world, all the parents watching now from Spain, all the different time zones, New Zealand, Australia. Just really appreciate everyone tuning in today. We've got our last race coming up here, the third Varsity 8 race. It's going to be here at 2:15 p.m. And we're going to give you the official times for the fours race soon. Looks like the water's really calmed up here throughout Lake Pickett, especially at the start, which is going to be great for these this last race of the day, third Varsity 8. Looks like there's a potential delay in this last race here for the UCF Miami duel. We'll fill you guys in when we have a little bit more information, but also just wanted to let everybody know we're going to be doing a senior acknowledgement post-race, so everyone should really stick around and give these seniors a round of applause for all the hard work that they've contributed to University of Central Florida for the past 4 or so years. So everyone who's watching from the shore right now at the UCF Boathouse, make sure you stick around and give a good cheers to our seniors.
And I have the fours time. UCF first varsity 4 with a 7 minute and 59 time. We have UCF's second varsity 4 with 8 minutes and 5 seconds. Miami's first varsity 4 with a time of 8 minutes and 22 seconds, as well as Miami's second varsity 4 with a time of 8 minutes and 35 seconds. So we'll let you know when crews are ready at the start gate. Thank you for tuning in and watching, everyone.
In the 2v4 and 3v8, 4v8 categories, it really shows the depth that each of these teams have. I mean, to be able to push on the top groups, these athletes are really strong, and it's important that teams have depth. You know, it really shows how committed all the athletes are. Yeah, so these athletes here in the 3v8, 4v8, 2v4, they're really key players to how the teams do. You know, you need that competition every day in practice, pushing each other to be their best. Yeah. I see your guys' comments in here. We've got
both Miami and UCF fans in here. So thank you guys for watching.
So for this race, we have in lane 4, the third varsity 8 we have in Coxon is Alexandra Miserino, a freshman from New York. Stroke is Landon Williams. She's a sophomore from Wesley Chapel, Florida. 7th seat, we have Sydney Norman. She's a freshman from Melbourne, Florida. 6th seat, Morgan Northley. She's a freshman from DeBerry, Florida. 5th seat, Sophia Keller. She's a junior from Edgewater. 4th seat, we have Alexa Conowal. She's a sophomore from Philadelphia. 3th seat, Corinne Kudmani. She's a sophomore from Windermere, Florida. 2 seat, Michaela Baxley, a sophomore from Ocala, Florida. And bow seat, Alina Tasman. She's a junior from Titusville, Florida.
In lane 3, we have Miami's third varsity 8. In the Coxon seat, we have Anna Langman, junior from Germany, 8 seat, stroke seat. We have Anderson Balak, junior from Maitland, Florida. 7 seat, Melody Royer, sophomore from Connecticut. 6 seat, Sabrina Fernandez, freshman from Miami, Florida. 5 seat, we have Trinity Farabee, junior from Orange Park, Florida. 4 seat, sorry, we're getting ready to start the race here. Looks like they're off.
The boats are off. We had a quick start. Everything is neck and neck right now. We are bow ball to bow ball. We will see shortly which crews pull away first and which crews will have to work back up to catch them.
The closest lane to us is UCF's third varsity 8. The next lane over is Miami's third varsity 8. Lane over from that is UCF's fourth varsity 4. Looks like it's bow ball to bow ball here for Miami's 3v8 and our UCF's 4v8. Looks like UCF's 3v8 is really pulling out strong ahead here in the first couple meters of the race. Landon Williams setting a great pace here. Miami's third varsity 8 looking strong here, pulling out ahead of UCF's fourth varsity 8. Looks like UCF's third varsity 8 is almost on the bow ball of Miami's fourth varsity 8.
I am clocking the boat closest to us, UCF's third varsity 8 out of 42. They'll be settling into the rhythm soon enough. We have UCF's Coxon of the third varsity 8 passing the bow ball of U Miami right now.
U Miami looking strong here, looking fast in these first couple strokes. UCF's fourth varsity 8 hanging on to that Miami boat. It's tough here in these wakes. Looks like we got some wake rolling in from a boat on the lake. We are on an open lake where there's fill you guys in here in a second. All good here. Everyone's keeping on going on this race. Looks like UCF's third varsity 8's about to cross that first 500-meter marks.
And this is part of it. Racing like this, especially rowing to what others are doing or choose to do, it's unpredictable, but weather and other factors are also unpredictable. So it's how each crew maximizes their efforts to overcome.
And in rowing, it looks like fourth varsity 8 of UCF just crossed the 500-meter mark. U Miami's third varsity 8 crossed the 500-meter mark. In rowing, there's a point, it's about 250 meters in, where you can stop the race and restart, but we are past that, and that is why the boats kept going despite the wake. But you never know what's going to happen on an open lake like this. Boaters can drive by and wake everyone out. There's nothing we can do about it. Looks like UCF's third varsity 8's really pulling ahead here. Miami's fourth varsity 8's here. They're looking strong. Or third varsity 8. Miami's third varsity 8 looks strong here. UCF's third varsity 8 really pushing on that Miami boat after they had a little bit of a slip up with that wake. But they really are picking it back up.
I'm clocking the Miami 8 out of 32 and the UCF's fourth varsity 8 out of 31. The headwind is very strong here. Crews are maximizing their efforts and doing the best they can to do this. The third Varsity 8 has taken open water. We have a boat length on both the fourth Varsity 8 of UCF and the third Varsity 8 of Miami. Crews were edging their way up to enter the middle chunk of the race. This is where big moves are made.
Yep. Looks like UCF's really coming up to that halfway mark, that 1K, middle of the race. Coxon's gonna call for more, do a reset probably. That's usually what we see here. This fourth Miami 8, we got in 4-seat. Audrey Farabee, 3-seat Julia Newman, 2-seat Ellis Parr, and bow seat Krista Jackson. In UCF's fourth Varsity 8 here, we see Elsa Casilius is the coxswain, 8-seat Amira Marquez, 7-seat Jen Durnall, 6-seat Riley Vincent, 5-seat Deanna Jones, 4-seat Jasmine Lopez, 3-seat Kendall Bovino, 2-seat Hannah Gary, and bow seat Bryn Marks.
It is extremely difficult to race from behind, but can the UCS 4th Varsity 8 do it? They are edging up on Miami as we speak. The bow ball of UCF's 4th Varsity 8 is passing the U Miami's coxswain.
Looks like UCF's taking that move here to really push up on that third Varsity 8 of Miami. And as we see up here, that is UCF's third Varsity 8. They really have made a statement in that first 1K of the race. They're almost going to come up to that last 500-meter mark, but they are really pushing the field here. They are well ahead of these other crews out here.
And the third 500 truly shows your fitness, your determination, and your grit. UCF's 4th Varsity 8 is making a move on Miami. It's right now with the difficult weather, it's unpredictable, but the headwind, you've got to get your blades in. You've got to drive, and UCF looks like they're doing just that.
Well, you know, real props to these two boats right here. They really took that wake and ran with it. I mean, it really, you know, wake can knock your mental game off, but looks like they're really still in it. Miami is pushing on that 4th Varsity 8 of UCF, and UCF's 4th Varsity 8 is really, they're looking strong here. Everyone's looking strong. These are usually in these 3rd Varsity 8, 4th Varsity 8 crews, it's more of the developmental crew, and so they're all looking really strong here, pushing through that wake. Looks like UCF's 3rd Varsity 8 just crossed the last 500-meter mark, and Miami's 3rd Varsity 8 is about to cross that 3rd 500-meter mark as well. Here they are crossing that 3rd 500. UCF's 4th Varsity 8 crossing that 3rd 500 as well.
UCF's 4th Varsity 8 looks like they're coming up on Miami. Their bow ball is on 7-seat. UCF's 3rd Varsity 8 is preparing to cross the 250. Each crew has less to do than they started with. Connery, can UCF walk through Miami right now?
It looks like they got the momentum too, but we'll see if they can do it in these last 250 meters of the race. It really comes down to it. Is the coxswain going to call sprint early? I don't know. It's close. So you never know what the coxswain's decision is going to be. Sometimes it's game time. Sometimes you know what it's going to be, but looks like it's a close race here. So looks like Miami's coxswain just looked over. She knows where they are. She wants them to get as far away as that UCF 4th Varsity 8 as they can. Miami 3rd Varsity 8 looking strong here. UCF's 3rd Varsity 8 is coming to those last couple strokes of the race. They really made that margin statement against U Miami here. Looks like they're about to cross the finish line here. Miami's 3rd Varsity 8 getting pushed a little bit by UCF's 4th Varsity 8 here. UCF 4th Varsity 8 on 5-seat of Miami. Now they're on 4-seat of Miami. This is exciting here, you guys. Look at this close race at the last couple meters. UCF 4th Varsity 8, 3-seat of Miami. UCF 3rd Varsity 8 just crossed the finish line. Great job to them. Miami, they're pushing. UCF's pushing too. UCF 4th Varsity 8 on 3-seat of Miami. Can they do it? Can they do it? It's a close race here. Miami's crossing the finish line. Looks like they're going to cross the finish line just a bit ahead of UCF, and UCF comes across the line here now. Great racing to the finish, ladies. Wow. UCF had that really strong finish towards the end there. Their coxswain's going to be really proud of that crew for really pushing it to the end. And U Miami really strong racing throughout. They had that real big wake that came through. So congrats to them for really, clearing their mind and doing a good job at coming through that wake. Way to go, 3rd Varsity 8s and 4th Varsity 8s racing. And the times, we're going to have that coming up soon as well, the official times, because it was a close call there between UCF's 4th Varsity 8 and Miami's 3rd Varsity 8. Some really close racing to the end there. This might have been the most exciting race of the day. What do you feel about that, Cyan?
I'd have to say I think the last 500 can be the most exciting, or not at times, but to see UCF try to walk through Miami there and Miami hold them off was incredible to watch. So we'll have the times to you when we get them, and thanks for tuning in, everybody.
And for everyone on land here, please make sure you stick around to really give these seniors a round of applause for everything they've contributed to University of Central Florida women's rowing for the past 4 or so years. So congratulations to them. It's senior day here at Lake Pickett for UCF. So go seniors. And in the 4th Varsity 8 here, we
Okay, and the final times: UCF 3rd Varsity 8 with a time of 7 minutes and 37 seconds. Miami with the time of 8 minutes and 2 seconds in 0.7, and UCF's
UCF's 4v8 with a time of 8:04.5, just coming right behind Miami's, but we saw on here that was a great race towards the finish there. It's never over until it's over. Great job, all crews, and thanks everyone for tuning in. Connery Cassidy here, and
Cyan Ord. Thanks again.
thanks for having us.